Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Alex. This is the Car Creative, and before we kind of get started here, I just want to say thanks again. Wow, like last video I just said I had 5,000 subs. We did a huge thank you. There was a $1 preset, and before I knew it, within a week, you guys already put me up to 6K. What the heck is going on? I'm just so grateful. So thank you guys so much for all the love and support. In this video, I'm going to be telling you guys how I find all of my cool car spot locations, every tip and trick that I know, and we're actually going to go again and scout those locations and do a photo shoot. I had a client reach out to me last week and he's like, hey man, I want to shoot with you. He wanted it to be urban, so in the city. So I'm going to show you how I go about finding a great location for this guy's vehicle and take you guys along with me for the shoot. So this whole shoot started because of the Type R. That guy had a buddy who wanted his truck shot. So it's actually kind of reminiscent because this guy's got a 2019 Cement Grey Toyota Tacoma, which reminds me of my Toyota Tacoma. And if you guys haven't seen any of those videos, I'll try and link something. The first thing that I do in my process is probably what you guys already do, which is Apple Maps or Google Maps, but I use them for two different things. So one of the first things that I do is I go into Apple Maps. Now, as you can see here, I've got a whole bunch of car spots already laid out, all these like red dots or places that I've got picked. But one of the coolest features in here is to go into the 3D mode, and when you zoom in here you can actually get a cool, really cool layout of the city. So you can zoom in, spin around, you can actually like adjust how high or low you are. So this is one of the ways that I found some of the cooler car parks. Like for example in Calgary here we have this iconic Calgary Tower, and I was looking around it and there's a car park right down below it. So I was like, oh my gosh, that would make a great view like for behind my car. I was able to spin around, get a good view of what it all looks like. And there's another car park here that you can see has an amazing view of the Calgary Tower. I'm not super familiar with my city, but if you just zoom around, you can start to find little pockets and corners and areas that you can go and investigate. Like for example, when I was preparing for this video here, I found another spot over here that I'm like, wow, this looks like a really cool spot. There's lots of trees around, some artwork. Looks like I can park a car in that cul-de-sac. As well, there's like an alley here that might make for some cool leading lines. It's a bit more of like a posh place, so maybe it might be nicer for like a luxury vehicle versus not a luxury vehicle. So once you find some spots you like, you can just hard press or press and hold, and I go to add to, and then you can see I've got a whole bunch of car spots already picked out. I add it to that one and I say, I don't know, posh location. There you go. So that's Apple Maps, and as you can see, I have tons of places already pinned, so when someone reaches out to me, I've already got a list of places that we can go instead of kind of scrambling. So the next thing I'm going to show you is in Google Maps. So why Google Maps and Apple Maps are different is because Google Maps gives you a really cool street view. So one of the locations that we're going to go to today, I found on Google Maps Street View because I really like the alleyways. I really like having nice linear lines. So I found this spot and I was able to see on Google Maps exactly how it would look. So let me show you this. So similar to Apple Maps, I go to my saved locations. I've got car spots here and I know that it is this one. So I've got my location picked right here, but if I just go on to Street View, make a pin there, you tap this little box in the bottom left corner. Now we're in Street View mode, so we can swipe around and get a good look on a ground level what it's actually going to look like. Now this isn't rocket science, but this is just one of the ways that I pick it. And so as you can see, this here is the alleyway that we are going to go look at, and if you spin around, even the other way looks pretty cool. And I've also pinned several other locations that I've just found on Google Maps, never really seen them before, so I do want to go scout those out as well and see if they're going to work for our shoot today. So our shoot is at 6:30 tonight, so I'm going to leave a little bit earlier so I can scout some of the locations that I want to try on the way to our first location, which I know I like, I know it's a good spot, and then from there, if we don't get any great photos, we can go to the second location and the third location. Let's go take a look at some of these locations, and then at the end of the video, I'm going to give you one more tip, and as well, we can kind of discuss how these locations went, which ones I like, and I'll show you some of the photos that we get from the shoot as well. So on the way to our first shooting location, I wanted to stop by kind of all the spots I wanted to go to make sure that they are actually good and usable. One thing that we do want to pay attention to, like I love this lane, I love how linear this is, it just looks so good. Hopefully we park the truck in here, it should look okay. But you also want to pay attention to the time of the day. So for example, I see the sun is directly behind me and that's what I want, so this location is good for sunset vibes. So but I'm happy with this. We'll come here for our second shoot, and now let's go to our first location where I'm going to meet this guy for our photo shoot. And one thing that I love to do, as long as it's safe and you can do this, is make sure that as you're driving and finding these locations, pull over, pin the cool spots that you see, whether they're cool locations, a cool wall that might be good to shoot on, or some good bushes that will, I don't know, surround your car or something like that. We're at our first location, so we're waiting for this guy to show up so I can set up my gear. The reason that I'm at this location first is because it's got the most shade essentially, and the sun's not quite down yet. So we're gonna use some of these pillars to create contrasting lines, tuck the Tacoma into some cool places, and just, I don't know, we'll see. Hopefully it looks cool at the end. This guy really wanted to have like the urban city vibes, so he's got a Cement Grey Taco just like the one that I had. So I think this is gonna be a cool place to do it because there's heaps of cement around and just like tons of lines. I think it'll be really cool. Now that we're back and I was able to go check out some of those locations, the first location, the second location, and the third location, which I'll show you, all worked out pretty well. The third location I actually found on the way to the second location. Some of the first spots that I checked out, as you can see in this drone video in and around here, they didn't really work out so well. They would have been great for sunset, but there probably would have been people walking around because it's this nice like sunset spot, so I didn't really want to shoot there, and in the end we were kind of running out of time anyway. So when I came back down the hill, I found this beautiful like greened area that had like a bit of dirt around it, and I was like, that might look cool to surround a Tacoma with. So pinned that location, and then we went and shot that one as our third location. It just goes to show that you can keep your eyes open for really cool spots, pull over when it's safe, and then save those locations so that you can come back to them later. And of course, if you don't want to find any spots on your own, one of the best things to do is reach out to any of your local photographers, see where they're shooting, and some people are private with that information, some people aren't. So just be thoughtful with how you present yourself, asking them for that location. Maybe give them a bit of details about yourself, but don't just dive in and be like, tell me your location, because it just comes across as like you're just trying to use people. So get to know people, tell them you like their stuff, and then maybe ask for that suggestion of that location. Some people are very willing to share, like myself. If you guys want to know where I do my shoots and you're in Calgary, just ask, it's no problem. But that's definitely one way that you can find really cool locations. And of course, all these tools can be used for car photography or other photography. So if you're doing portraits with people or family photos or whatever, this is also a great way to just kind of pre-scout your locations. And I highly recommend looking before you go so you don't show up and if it's not that cool of a location or it's dirty, and then you're kind of out of luck. So all right, that is it for me, you guys. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that you found this helpful. If you did, please hit that like button for me and consider subscribing to the channel, because I'm really loving it and I'm excited to make more videos like this for you guys. Put a comment down below of which, I don't know, which location you thought was the coolest, or how maybe you find cool car locations that I missed, and help us all out down below. And until next time, guys, we'll see you in the next video. Peace.